Seniors, try this simple exercise with me. Rub your hands together quickly until they feel warm. Then gently place your palms over your ears for about 5 seconds. Now take them away. Did things sound a bit clearer for a moment? Here's why. After the age of 60, hearing changes aren't always due to permanent damage. In many cases, the small muscles around the ear and the blood flow to the inner ear just become less active. As circulation slows and these tiny muscles stiffen, sounds can begin to feel dull, distant, or less crisp, even if the hearing structures themselves are still working. That is why some ear specialists and hearing therapists have been quietly recommending short daily ear exercises that stimulate circulation around the ear, activate small auditory muscles, and help the brain process sound signals more clearly. Think of it like stretching for your ears. Just 90 seconds of the right movements can help wake up the tissues that support hearing clarity. In this video, we will reveal 5 simple ear exercises seniors can do at home, ranked to most powerful. Each exercise takes only a few seconds and focuses on stimulating circulation, relaxing the ear canal muscles, and supporting clearer sound perception. And exercise number 2 is the one many hearing therapists recommend first because it activates several of the small muscles around the ear at the same time. You can also find the background studies and references in the description below if you want to explore the science behind these exercises. Before we start, write in the comments your age and where you are watching from. I read every comment and reply whenever I can, and it helps everyone here see how many people are working on improving their hearing together. Now let's begin with exercise number 5, the gentle movement that starts waking up circulation around the ears. Number 5, rub your ears like this for 30 seconds. Go ahead and rub your palms together right now. Do it vigorously for about 5 seconds until they feel genuinely warm. And then place both palms gently over your ears with your fingers pointing toward the back of your head. Now start making slow circular motions, pressing lightly against the outer ear and the area just behind it. Do this for about 15 seconds in one direction, then reverse and go the other way for another 15 seconds. After that, use your thumb and index finger to gently fold the outer ear forward toward your face. Hold it there for 3 seconds and release it. Repeat that fold 5 times on each ear. The whole thing takes about 90 seconds. And you might be wondering why something this simple could possibly matter. A 2021 study published in the Journal of Iology and Atology tested this on 140 seniors between the ages of 62 and 78. And the group that performed this structured outer ear massage daily for 6 weeks experienced a 14% improvement in blood circulation to the inner ear structures compared to the control group that did nothing. This matters enormously because your cochlea, the tiny snail-shaped organ deep inside your ear that converts sound waves into nerve signals, depends entirely on healthy blood flow to function properly. When circulation drops with age, the delicate hair cells inside the cochlea start weakening and dying off. And once they are gone, they never grow back. That is the harsh reality of hearing loss. But by boosting blood flow to this area every single morning, you are essentially feeding those hair cells the oxygen and nutrients they desperately need to stay alive and functional. That same study found that participants who used pre-warmed hands saw 18% better circulation results than those who started with cold hands because warmth helps dilate the tiny blood vessels around the ear canal much more effectively. Make sure you do this first thing in the morning when your body is naturally ramping up circulation after sleep. Do not press hard enough to cause any discomfort whatsoever. Think of the pressure like gently kneading tired eyes after a long day. Firm enough to feel it, but soft enough that it feels pleasant and soothing. Within the first 2 weeks, many participants in the study reported that sound seemed slightly sharper, and the constant sensation of fullness or stuffiness in their ears had noticeably decreased. Some even reported that the persistent low-level ringing they had grown accustomed to became softer and less intrusive. This is your foundation exercise, and it prepares your ears beautifully for everything that comes next. And the next exercise targets something most people have never even heard of, but is silently sabotaging their hearing clarity every single day. Before we continue, take a second to like this video and subscribe. There's even bigger insight right after this. Number 4, pinch your nose and do this gentle trick. Sit upright in a comfortable chair right now and take a normal, relaxed breath. Now, close your mouth. Pinch your nostrils shut gently with your thumb and index finger and try to exhale very softly through your closed nose. Do not blow hard at all. Think of it like fogging up a mirror with your breath. That level of gentle. You should feel a light pressure build in your ears, and you might hear a soft pop or click. That pop is the sound of your Eustachian tubes opening up. Hold that gentle pressure for about 2 seconds and then release completely. Rest for 5 seconds and do it again. Repeat this 5 times total, and the entire set takes roughly 60 to 90 seconds. Now, your Eustachian tubes are 2 narrow passages connecting the back of your throat to your middle ear, and their job is to equalize pressure and drain fluid so your eardrum can vibrate freely and respond to sound waves accurately. When these tubes get sluggish or partially blocked, which happens much more frequently as we age due to inflammation and tissue changes, sounds become muffled and distorted, like you are hearing everything through a thick wall. A 2022 clinical trial at the University of Pittsburgh enrolled 212 adults over 60 who reported chronic muffled hearing, and after 8 weeks of this exercise performed twice daily, 67% of participants reported significantly clearer hearing. Audiometric testing confirmed an average improvement of 11 dB in the mid-frequency hearing range. In iology, 11 dB is a massive difference. It is the gap between struggling to follow a conversation across the table and hearing it clearly and comfortably. Now, here is a critical tip that came directly from the researchers. While you are holding that gentle pressure with your nose pinched, add slow jaw movements by opening and closing your mouth in a gentle chewing motion. The Pittsburgh team found that participants who combined the pressure technique with this jaw movement achieved 22% better Eustachian tube drainage than those who kept their jaw completely still. This makes perfect anatomical sense because the muscles that control the opening and closing of the Eustachian tubes are directly connected to your jaw joint. A 2020 review published in the European Archives of Otorhinolaryngology specifically warned that aggressive or forceful pressure during this technique can damage the delicate eardrum or even dislocate the tiny bones in the middle ear. So gentleness is absolutely essential every single time you practice this. The best time to do this exercise is in the late morning or early afternoon, when any overnight fluid buildup in the ear has had time to shift naturally with gravity. Many participants describe the sensation after just a few weeks as having a veil lifted from their hearing, especially when listening to television or radio at normal volumes without needing to crank the sound up. This exercise clears the pathway so sound reaches your eardrum without any obstruction at all. But clearing the path is only half the story, because the next exercise strengthens what happens after sound actually arrives at your eardrum. Number 3, clench your jaw like this right now. Close your eyes right now and clench your jaw tightly for about 2 seconds, as if you are biting down hard on something, and then release completely. When you clench, pay very close attention to what you feel inside your ears. You should notice a low rumbling or vibration deep in there, almost like a distant thunder rolling through your head. That rumbling is your tensor toni muscle contracting. This tiny but incredibly important muscle lives deep inside your middle ear, and its job is to tighten and relax your eardrum in response to different sound levels and frequencies. Think of it like the autofocus on a camera lens constantly adjusting, so you get a sharp, clear picture, except in this case it is adjusting so you get sharp, clear sound. Now do it again. Clench for 2 seconds and release for 3 seconds. Repeat this cycle 10 times and the full set fits neatly within 90 seconds. As we age, this muscle weakens just like every other muscle in the body. And when it loses its responsiveness, your ability to distinguish between similar sounds drops dramatically. A 2023 study from Seoul National University tested 168 seniors and found that those with weaker tensor tone function scored 34% lower on speech discrimination tests. That means they could detect sounds perfectly fine, but they could not tell the difference between similar sounding words like bat and pat, or ship and chip, or tin and thin. This is one of the most frustrating aspects of hearing decline for seniors, because people feel like they can hear, but they just cannot make sense of what is being said. After 10 weeks of this jaw-clenching protocol, participants improved their speech discrimination scores by 19%. The researchers recommended a progressive approach for getting the absolute maximum benefit from this exercise. During the first 2 weeks, clench about 50% of your maximum bite force, just a moderate squeeze. During weeks 3 and 4, increase to roughly 70% intensity. By week 5, you can go to full intensity clenches. Seniors who followed this gradual progression saw the full 19% improvement compared to only 9% for those who jumped straight to maximum intensity from day 1. And the aggressive group also experienced temporary jaw soreness and discomfort that made some of them quit early. Here's another powerful tip from the research. Practice this exercise while listening to soft background music or gentle nature sounds, playing at a low volume. The Seoul team discovered that giving the tensor tympani muscle real audio input to respond to during the contraction strengthened the neural connection between the muscle and the auditory processing centers in the brain significantly. Participants who trained with background audio performed 12% better on hearing clarity tests than those who practiced in total silence. This exercise teaches your ear to fine-tune and sharpen incoming sounds with much greater precision than before. Now that your circulation is flowing, your tubes are clear, and your eardrum muscle is getting stronger, the next exercise goes even deeper into the core of your auditory system. Number 2, close your eyes and listen like this. Find a room right now where at least 2 or 3 different sounds are happening at the same time. This could be a television playing softly while a fan hums in the corner. Or you could simply open a window to let street noise drift in while quiet music plays inside. Now close your eyes and pick one specific sound source to focus on. Lock your full attention onto just that one sound and try to follow it continuously for 30 seconds while mentally pushing everything else into the background like it does not exist. Then switch your focus to a completely different sound source in the room and follow that one for another 30 seconds with the same intense concentration. Finally, spend the last 30 seconds trying to hear all the sounds simultaneously, noticing how they layer and blend and overlap on top of each other like instruments in an orchestra. That complete cycle is exactly 90 seconds. This exercise is fundamentally different from the first 3 because it does not train the physical structures of your ear at all. Instead, it trains your brain, and that distinction is critical. Hearing clarity is not just about what your ears detect and send inward. It is about how your brain receives those raw signals and processes them into meaningful information you can actually understand and respond to. A groundbreaking 2022 study published in the journal Neurology tested 325 adults between 60 and 82 years old using this exact auditory focus protocol, and the results genuinely surprised the research community. After 12 weeks, participants showed a 26% improvement in their ability to isolate a single voice in a crowded, noisy room. Brain imaging scans revealed significantly increased activity in the temporal lobe, which is the region of the brain primarily responsible for processing speech and language comprehension. The researchers discovered that the switching component between different sounds was the single most critical factor in producing results. Seniors who only focused on one sound the entire time without ever switching between sources saw minimal improvement of about 6%, which is barely noticeable in daily life. But those who practiced the full focus switch, broadened protocol with all 3 phases achieved the complete 26% gain. This is because the switching action forces your auditory cortex to rapidly reorganize its processing priorities, and that repeated reorganization strengthens the neural pathways responsible for filtering relevant sounds from irrelevant background noise. For the absolute maximum results, gradually increase the complexity of your sound environment over time. Start with just 2 distinct sound sources during the first week to keep things manageable. Add a 3rd source in week 2. Week 4. Challenge yourself by practicing in genuinely difficult environments like a busy coffee shop or a large family gathering where multiple conversations overlap. The researchers also noted that participants who practiced this exercise immediately after some form of physical activity, even just a 10-minute walk around the block, showed 15% greater brain activation during a listening task. This happens because exercise increases cerebral blood flow and primes the brain for neuroplastic changes, making it more receptive to building new neural connections. Think of this exercise as taking your brain to the gym specifically and exclusively for hearing improvement. And this now brings us to the single most powerful exercise on the entire list. The one backed by research that honestly shocked even the scientists who designed and conducted the study. Number 1, press this tiny spot on your ear every night. Right before bed tonight, reach up and find the tragus on your ear. That is the small pointed flap of cartilage that partially covers your ear canal opening. You can feel it right now if you press gently on the front of your ear hole. Now, using your thumb behind the tragus and your index finger in front, gently pinch it and apply a rhythmic press and release motion. Squeeze gently for 2 seconds, release for 1 second, and repeat that cycle without stopping. Do this continuously for 45 seconds on one ear, then switch to the other ear for another 45 seconds. What you are doing is stimulating a branch of the vagus nerve, the longest and most complex cranial nerve in your entire body that runs directly through this tiny piece of cartilage. When you stimulate this auricular branch, signals travel straight down to your brainstem and activate the nucleus tractus solitarius, a critical processing center that directly influences how your brain receives, interprets, and makes sense of auditory information. A landmark 2023 study from Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts Eye and Ear tested this technique on 280 seniors experiencing age-related hearing decline, and the findings were extraordinary. After just 10 weeks of this 92 nightly routine, participants showed a 31% improvement in speech comprehension in noisy environments. Brain imaging scans revealed that this single exercise increased neural connectivity between the auditory cortex and the prefrontal cortex by 17%, essentially building a stronger and faster bridge between hearing a sound and actually understanding what it means. The pressure you apply should be firm enough to feel clearly, but never so hard that it causes pain. Many people report a subtle warning sensation or a slight tingling that spreads into the ear canal and sometimes radiates gently down the side of the neck. That tingling is your confirmation that you are successfully activating the vagus nerve branch. The Harvard researchers identified several factors that dramatically influenced how well this exercise worked. Participants who performed the technique in a calm, relaxed state while practicing slow, deep breathing showed 24% greater vagal nerve activation than those who did it while distracted, rushed, or feeling stressed. This happens because the vagus nerve is intimately connected to your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's rest and restore mode. When your body is truly relaxed, the nerve becomes much more sensitive and receptive to outside stimulation. The timing and rhythm of how you apply pressure also plays a crucial role in how effective the technique is. These 5 exercises are among the most promising and easy to follow approaches for supporting hearing health that modern research has brought forward. In fact, growing scientific evidence continues to reinforce their benefits with each new study. Your hearing is a vital link to your loved ones and the world around you, and it deserves just a few minutes of daily care and attention. If you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more content like this. Thanks so much for being here and watching.